Because we're joined by the one and only Sarah Farasia.
Okay, David, you're wearing this Pac-Man shirt. Is this from like Louis Vuitton? Because I can't even picture you playing a game of Pac-Man. Like, when is the last time you were on a Pac-Man machine?
First of all, darling, I prefer Ms. Pac-Man. It's
Okay.
Ms. Pac-Man to you. I
Miss.
always I always liked
Miss.
Miss Pac-Man better. It's one of the funner games, right? But you get really stressed out when you know what I need when I play Pac-Man? You know,
What?
that's you say these things, Sarah. I need a mood. Now, let me tell you about mood.com/velvet. With code velvet, you get 20% off. No, no, no. Here's the
Oh.
thing. I am not into the flower or the pre-rolls or the vapes, but they have flower, pre-rolls, and vapes. I love the edibles. Let me tell you about Mood. It's not just that they have the calm you down gummies. They have popcorn. You know I love my food. They have popcorn, taffy, caramel candies, all with legally existing THC, which is shipped right to your front door. Right to your front door. You know how we don't leave the house? The THC. Imagine getting popcorn with some THC. You don't think that calms you down, girl? So when I play Pac-Man, I need mood because my blood, I get really into those video games.
But you didn't answer the question. When's the last time you played a video game?
Nine,
We know you hit the THC, but when when
1986.
that's when you were
Pac-Man
like 10.
Athena.
Oh my God.
Well, isn't it a
I
cute
freaking love
shirt
you.
though? Little
It
Pac-Man
is so
shirt.
cute. I'm sure it's high end. Look, we have so much to get to. I mean, there is a ton happening in the Bravo universe, and I'm up on everything. But I do need to ask because people have been wondering, is there an update with who died in your building? What was his name? Is Steven?
It's
Was it?
so funny that you asked me that. Have people
I'm
really been
hooked
asking?
on this podcast. Yes. Like I am hooked on this David Yontef Sag Harbor condo,
Okay,
pod.
well, the plot has thickened. Richard died. Now, it turns out that one of the people who works here, now, mind you, I'm not saying anything to anyone. One of the people who works here, apparently, I found out said, "Oh, I think the boyfriend did it." Now, now all these people on Saturday night sitting around the fire, all of them were saying, how could like not, like when nine people have a thought that goes through their mind and you don't verbalize it, but it's the same thought. How could everyone have the same thought? Now, the boyfriend had to come up here because there was a funeral. He came up from Florida, and I didn't say anything. When he walked in or whatever, one of the neighbors said, "Well, those are crocodile tears if I ever saw them." He's like, he's going to inherit
Wow.
three homes. He's going to inherit three homes. And so one of my other neighbors is
The
like,
niece and nephew aren't getting the homes?
listen, remember I told you that the other neighbor, Howard, said, how much is this thing going to go on the market for? And finally, we're all like, honey, it ain't going on the market at all. This one. And then my other neighbor is like, well, because he's gay. He's like, why would like a younger gay guy want to come up? What the hell would they want to do in Sag Harbor? Then her husband is like, you're saying this right in front of David. That's very insulting. Like, what would a younger, and I'm like, well, I'm not young, honey, thank you. But I'm like, sweetie, he ain't coming here like to relax. Oh, he's gonna bring every twink from this side of the South River up with on the plane with him. This is gonna be a party condo with all the twinks, and yeah, we're gonna have some noise complaints and
We think
whatever.
Richard left the condo to the boyfriend?
That's whatever. We're not sure, but that seems to be the plot. That there's three homes and they're all going to him, and someone else is like, "Well, those are crocodile tears," and he was up here, and the funeral was on Sunday, and he didn't seem upset to anybody in the vicinity. Now I know we all handle grief differently, but he didn't seem to be upset at all.
Wow.
And there is a person that works here that I should not mention by name or title or like what they do, but they said they're convinced. So how could all these people have the same thought? So this isn't just me spreading
Rumors.
gossip.
I mean, yes, it could be gossip. I mean, we need some evidence, but wow, as Sag Harbor turns, this is good.
Well, okay, there is one more factor I should say before we. So
Yeah, I mean, is
Richard,
there toxicology or I mean, we
okay,
need an
here's the thing.
autopsy. I mean, we need something.
Well, we found out that Richard fell and broke his like arm. So then he needed apparently they had their own place down there in Miami or whatever it was. So the boyfriend, obviously, who lives at a lesser than apartment or whatever, would always go to Richard's. Obviously, that's what happens when you date someone with money. So, but he fell, and for the first time after all these years, God forbid, he needs something from the boyfriend. So he says, "Well, I need you to come and stay in the house. Like, I need someone to look after me. My arm is broken." Well, the boyfriend said, "Oh, I can't go to work and do all this stuff from your apartment. You have to come stay at my house." Now, Richard has never stayed at his house. Now, we found out Richard has all sorts of security cameras around his big place in Miami. Well, isn't that convenient that the boyfriend said, "No, you come and stay. You want me to take care of you? You come and stay in the little rat's nest apartment with me where there are no cameras." And I just want to say that
It's crazy.
when Richard passed, the
Yeah.
boyfriend was out for a run. And every single person here is like, the fact that he wasn't home when this happened is weird. You went out for a run? Yeah, well, that's because you whatever, and then went out for a run and came home and, oh my God, what's happened? Okay.
Wow. Oh my Lord. All right. Well, keep us. I hope there's a police investigation, baby.
We're
Has
looking
someone
into
tipped off
it.
Sag Harbor? Wow.
And by the way,
Active out there.
I've stepped up my security, so don't anyone come and look for me just because I'm speaking the truth.
Woo. All right. On that note, where do you
How
want to
are you?
start? I'm
Where
good.
you know where I want to start? I can't
Tell
believe this
me.
is where I want to
Talk to
start.
me.
Well, last week, it was about a week ago at this point, a week and a half. We have this Saturday Night Live event, and we have Justin, we have Ryan and Blake there. And let's talk about that. And then let's talk about your favorite person, really kind of slowly becoming one of my favorite people. Miss Bethany Frankel has weighed in on their decision to go to. And then as a lawyer, I will share my own opinions on this. But talk to us about the Blake and Justin case and what's going on. But they did attend Saturday Night Live.
Yes, they attended the SNL 50th anniversary party, a lot coming out about it. Days afterwards, the joke, of course, was Amy Poehler and Tina Fey were taking questions from the audience, obviously staged. And we do know that Ryan and Blake's team worked with SNL producers to come up with that moment. Okay. We know that an insider spoke to Daily Mail the day afterwards. And essentially, they're like, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds, you have a question. How are you?" And he goes, "Fine. Why? What have you heard?" Obviously alluding to everything that's going on. And Blake Lively looks at him with this really like mortified look on her face. And then she fake smiles. And Kevin Costner's got this very judgmental, Yellowstone-esque, face on. Cher's sitting there. And he goes on to talk about